plot twist to me is that this little freak was one of my favorite characters. I love Guy Diamond so much, I'm literally girl diamond.
Your video to the show. I do.
Butt lovers, welcome back to the Lore series. Usually I'd say this is the series where we explore shows no one else is brave enough to, but I kind of fell off the deep end with this one more than usual, goddamn. DreamWorks Trollz has been taking over my TikTok For You page, and this was very interesting to me because before I started working on this video, I had only seen the first Trollz movie. Then I saw everyone raving about the sequel, and especially the 2023 trequel, and I thought, cute, I can make a lore video about 3 movies? That'll be so easy. No, not only are there 2 TV series in this DreamWorks world, but there's also this third show I watched completely separate from DreamWorks because it's too iconic not to talk about. And I'm gonna spiral at the end and try and connect them. You don't want to miss it. I haven't slept. But before that, let's start with the first DreamWorks Trollz movie that came out in 2016. Look at these cute DVDs I acquired. Not to flex. Despite my internet clownage, this video is not intended for children. I have a potty mouth that's full of fucking shit. Dude, calm down. I entertain young adult to adult cartoon enthusiasts like myself. I'm very upfront about this. You can't be mad at me.
I could have used a little more cowbell.
Through this storybook narrated by one of our main characters, Poppy, we hear about the Trollz. The Trollz lived in this tree and loved singing and dancing and hugging and partying. Bergens are much larger creatures that get their happiness from eating the Trollz. Once a year, the Bergens have a holiday they call Trollstis, where they gather a bunch of trolls and eat them. We then see Prince Gristle, a child Bergen who has never had a troll, and he's absolutely hyped for it. He seems really happy, but he's never eaten a troll? Something's not adding up. The chef Bergen said they picked a troll named Princess Poppy for Prince Gristle to eat. He spits the troll out to reveal it's made of wood. It even looks like the traditional troll doll toy. The trolls filled this tree with these wooden fakes and escaped underground. Poppy at this point in the story is a baby, and her dad, the king named Peppy, keeps exclaiming, "No troll left behind!" as he helps everyone escape. This sequence ends with the chef Bergen being exiled from Bergen Town for letting the trolls escape, even though she didn't. I know we're not supposed to feel bad for her, but I kind of do. I mean, it's not her fault.
You were supposed to replace the dirt with steel, with impenetrable steel.
That was 20 years ago. We heard this whole origin story play out because Poppy is explaining to a group of kids why they're alive. My dad's a great ruler, and he's also my dad. Long live the monarchy. Meanwhile, Bergens are dying of depression. Also, King Peppy isn't all that. You'll hear about it in the next 2 movies and also the TV show, but this guy actually sucks. First musical number, everybody move your hair and feel united. Wow! It's a lot of covers of songs, but you replace certain words with hair because they got the tall hair. This is really difficult stuff to grasp. I'm glad I'm here to explain this to you. Then, James Corden jump scare. I keep forgetting how many movies he's in. How does he have the time to act in all these movies? Doesn't he have an underpaid waitress to make cry somewhere? Anyway, his name is Biggie and he has a pet worm. Other characters we see throughout this opening sequence is DJ Suki, Satin and Chenille, Smidge, Fuzzbert, Cooper, and Guy Diamond. Much more on him later on. After that song, we meet our other main character, Branch, who is just so fed up with everyone. He thinks how loud they are will get everyone killed. Someone's traumatized. I wonder what that's about. Actually, no, I don't. You already know that's my favorite part of the movie.
Why won't you sing? Because singing killed my grandma, okay?
At a giant party celebrating their freedom from the Bergens, they launch glitter into the sky, leading the exiled Chef Bergen straight to them. She proceeds to capture all of Poppy's friends that I mentioned before, plus Creek. Creek was seen before the party comforting Poppy about the fact that Branch destroyed her invitation. It seems like Creek and Poppy had a thing, casually seeing each other or something. I don't know, there was chemistry there, and she seemed the most distraught when he was taken. But Poppy successfully saves her dad and everyone else. The party is ruined though, talk about a downer. The king is focused on relocating before the chef comes back, but Poppy really wants to save her friends. She visits Branch in his bunker and begs him to help her because he's been preparing for worst case scenarios pretty much his whole life. Need I remind you, the dude has a bunker. At first he, of course, refuses. The reason he has the bunker is to stay away from the trouble, not dive in head first. But Poppy is very persuasive. She knows how to get under his skin. Their dynamic is very fun. Sunshine versus doom and gloom. It's Squid Bob. I eat that shit up. Poppy at first starts her journey alone, singing the song Get Back Up Again. A total bop, by the way. In the visuals of this song, we see her get eaten 4 times. Luckily, Branch saves her from being eaten a 5th. Can you guess what this Cloud guy's name is? There's actually no need to guess, I told you. This is Cloud Guy. We meet him outside the tunnels, and he says he knows which one to go down, but Branch doesn't trust him because he's wearing socks with no shoes. Buddy, look at yourself. Put those piggies away. Cloud Guy led them through the tunnel right to the old troll tree, as Branch angrily chased him after being positively fucking owned.
Little Slappy, make Daddy happy?
This little back and forth was so cute in the movie, but oh my god, Cloud Guy overstays his welcome in the show. That's my opinion. I forgot the first Bergen song we hear is Gorilla's Clint Eastwood. That's hilarious. Bridget, the Bergen maid, is in love with Gristle, the Bergen prince, who's actually the king now. They completely skim over the fact that his dad died. I feel like Gristle doesn't get enough attention. When Branch and Poppy save their friends, actually, you know what? At this point in the story, her friends from the cage, Poppy exclaims that they have to save Creek too. Branch thinks Poppy's crazy because we just saw Creek get eaten. And not to claim that Branch wanted Creek to get eaten, but he's not the biggest fan of Creek. Gee, I wonder why.
Good night, Creek.
And good night, Poppy.
Relax.
Anyway, as they discuss this whole saving Creek thing, Bridget the Bergen wakes up and tries to get them back in the cage. Guy Diamond uses glitter fart attack. It's super effective. We'll get into all the trolls' powers later. There's a lot. Poppy befriends Bridget and gives her a makeover so she can have the confidence to tell the king how she really feels. Bridget's self-esteem plummets when she realizes that Branch isn't singing along with the rest of them. She's like, what about that little gray one? He doesn't believe in me because he's not singing. And Poppy's like, Branch, can you sing, buddy? And he's like, no, actually I can't because singing killed my grandma. Okay? Now leave me alone.
How did singing kill your grandma? What song was she singing?
So the backstory behind this is that little baby Branch was so deep in song, he didn't notice a Bergen behind him. He's right behind me, isn't he? So Grandma had to literally tackle him out of the way, putting herself in harm's way, and the Bergen snatched her up and ate her. Listen, I know the execution of the line was hilarious, like that reveal was hilarious, but if you think about it, solid depression origin story. And there's so much more to Branch's trauma. Just stay tuned, okay? This is so layered. But something else hilarious, the grandma is voiced by YouTube legend Glozell. I didn't know that until I made this video. Just wanted to put that out there. After he shares his trauma of the day he sang Total Eclipse of the Heart, the rest of the group sing Total Eclipse of the Heart around him. Wow, what assholes! Read the room challenge. Now that Bridget knows that super sad fact about that little stranger, she's ready for her date with the king. The trolls stretch and change their hair to form a rainbow wig, so they're standing on top of her head and feeding her lines into her ear. When they struggle in the romance department, giving her really awkward things to say, Branch steps in and does this beautiful monologue about eyes and smiles and how beautiful you find this person while staring at Poppy. It's not very subtle. So like I said in the beginning, prior to researching for this video, I had only seen the first movie. So when I stumbled into Troll's TikTok and saw a whole video about how Branch and Poppy's romance is slow burn, I was so confused. I was totally under the impression that they got together in this first movie, but let's proceed. Creek is revealed to be in the King's Cape pendant, so the group has hope they're gonna get him back. Throughout their date, Bridget and King Gristle are having fun. You could even say they're happy. Make a long story short, the group got the pendant from the cape, thought they saved Creek, opened it up, and it was empty. And then they were immediately caught by the chef because Creek betrayed them, leading the chef straight to them and the rest of the trolls. A real Hans from Frozen move. Honestly, this guy's worse than Hans.
Don't eat me! Eat someone else! Anyone else! Everyone else, but not me!
What a loser. Love that Branch was so proud of Poppy for resorting to violence though, because yeah, kick this guy's ass. All the trolls are now captured and they're turning colorless like Branch because they're sad. They think they're about to all die, but then they get their colors back when Branch sings True Colors, which is when Branch and Poppy sing I love you at each other. So I don't think I'm ready for the second movie. Like, how does it get more confirmed than that? Are they gonna have a full trolls making love scene? Because this is pretty confirmed to me. Bridget saves all the trolls, and as a thank you to her, the trolls return back to the castle they just escaped from to save Bridget. They teach the Bergens that they are capable of being happy through song. Their plan works, and Cooper casually sets the chef and Creek on fire.
There's cooking and there's fucking bonfire. Stand back!
I watched through the deleted scenes, and I truly feel in my heart that they should have kept the villain number. Oh my god, it was so good. The voice actor couldn't have done a better job. Like, I'm insulted this isn't in the movie. We hear the creators explain their choice to cut it, and they said they thought it made the chef too whimsical. I couldn't disagree more. I think it makes her even more villainous. The imagery of her dancing as the trolls are cooked in a variety of very explicit ways was as funny as it was horrifying. I wish they kept it in. I'm glad it was released at all, though. Now, before we get into the other DreamWorks Trolls movies and shows, please join me for this blast from the past. I said both with a Z because we're also covering Trolls with a Z. I know how intense Trolls with an S fans are, but I have a feeling you'll love this. And you won't understand the theory at the end unless you watch this. So first things first. It's a hair thing. Trolls with a Z came out in 2005 and ended in 2005, with just one season and 27 episodes. It was produced and pretty much responsible for destroying DIC Entertainment, which I learned from the Care Bears video is actually pronounced Deek. Okay, so I know now. Hop off my Deek. First things first, the theme song made me wheeze. Here are just some of the lyrics. Grab your spell phone, get your laptop, going out to have fun and shop. Hang with good friends, surf for new ones. Generation, why not have fun? It's a hair thing, it's a pink thing, it's a tech teen fantasy. It's a hair thing, it's a big thing. Music, fashion, magic makes us happy. Wow. I can picture the pitch for this so clearly. We need a show for girls. What do girls like? If I may, I believe they like phone, pink, and shopping. That's right, women be shopping. What about fashion and magic and laptop? Men, we did it. Now let's watch a sport. This show to me is Bratz meets Totally Spies meets My Little Pony meets Steven Universe. We follow the characters Sapphire, Topaz, Onyx, Amethyst, and Ruby. They each have magical crystal belly buttons and gravity-defying hair that fits their distinct personalities. Let's start with the very first episode that totally misrepresents the series. Every episode, before the title card even appears, we start with the preview of the episode we're about to watch. And the first time this happened, I didn't know what was going on. It was very disorienting.
Troll girls plus magic equals.
Whoa, wait.
Am I glad to see you?
So that's why you steal my boyfriend?
How about hello? How are you? My name is. Honestly, I still don't know what's going on. We see the futuristic Y2K tech, which includes these hoverboards, but also flip phones still. I love it. It's such a vibe. In this episode, we see all the girls except for Amethyst thirst after the most regular schmegular guy imaginable, and they're doing it so vocally he turns red and gets really uncomfortable. It's really weird. They were fully catcalling him.
Cute boy at 3 o'clock. Hottie.
Hottie at 12 o'clock! He can hear you. Chill out with that. Amethyst trying to join in with her friends was essentially like, he certainly is a person with, skin.
He looks like he might be nice and fun to study with.
So clearly she does not understand her friend's attraction. There could be many reasons for this, but one certainly comes to mind. Sorry, I have an itch. Okay, so apparently Amethyst got her gem glow last, which is like Troll's puberty, and also the gem glow is how they harness their magic. So they're all excited to see Amethyst's first spell, but apparently you have to pay for spells. But since Ruby is rich, she gives Amethyst one of her bracelet beads, which is worth 1 spell. Ruby used a transformation spell on this lady that didn't ask for it, just because she looked over at her and was like, she's tragic, she needs a makeover. Yeah, Ruby's an asshole. Which sucks because her design is the best. And Ruby also sucks at magic because she was immediately upstaged by Amethyst, who just got her powers. The animals of this world also have extremely long hair. Along with Amethyst's mohawk dog, we see her laptop. You know, from the theme song. Laptop. I believe this is the only appearance of a laptop in the entire show, so I don't know why that was mentioned in the theme song at all. Also, you have to know right off the bat, Onyx is the best character. By far. I recognized it even in this first episode. She's so mellow and deadpan, but she's also the most encouraging and real. She tells Amethyst she can't be pushed around by Ruby anymore, and that she's glad to see Amethyst stand up for herself and start to grow up.
You're older now. You're gonna be better at some stuff than Ruby is.
And I thought to myself, I don't know, maybe Ruby's just having a bad day. No, she's just like this. She's fully crazy. Amethyst was just standing next to Rock, having a very acquaintance interaction, and Ruby accuses her of trying to steal her boyfriend. Side note, at this point, her and Rock aren't even dating, and also, need I remind you, Amethyst was just talking to him.
Now she's putting the moves on my boyfriend?
Are you and Rock going out?
Duh! I just haven't told him yet.
They made up in the end, but let's see if Ruby's just as annoying throughout the rest of the series. Will she be my least favorite character? Stay tuned. Episode 2, we hear that Amethyst has a crush on Cole. Clap if you care. Exactly, but stay with me because the rest of the episode threw me completely off guard.
BFFL!
The BFFLs are buying spells from Obsidian's spell shop.
There are certain spells you just gotta have.
And they are so specific. Here's a few we hear about. Overslept late for school bedhead emergency spell. One that makes your friends forget that they already bought you birthday gifts. And another that makes you invisible to your teacher when you forgot your homework. So, pretty much catered specifically for teens. The spell shop employee referred to getting your glow as the sacred awakening. We also learn in this episode what a spell phone is. You put the bead on the phone, dial a number, and then that spell goes to whoever answers the phone. So it's a way to send a spell to somebody that isn't right next to you that you can throw the bead at. So how do they use the spell phone? Amethyst uses it to make Jasper's hair disappear? Such a strange thing to do. We never hear why they did that. I guess it's just a prank, a funny haha. Because spells are temporary after all. And lucky for Jasper, he actually likes the shaved look. In fact, this is the first and only time we see him with hair. For the rest of the series, he just shaves his head. In this episode, they also accidentally turn Amethyst's crush, Cole, into ice when trying to make him cooler. Be careful what you spell for. This old wise lady, Obsidian, explains that these friends unleashed the magic of the five. An ancient power, because while a regular spell usually wears off after a few minutes, the five of them together make spells so much more powerful that they can last a lifetime. In this episode, I also learned that Topaz is also one of the best characters. She's like the blueprint for Lindsay in Total Drama. Just an airhead in the best way. Great one-liners, very funny.
He will melt.
That'll ruin those clothes!
Obsidian goes through this door/magic portal with the girls to reveal the ruins of an ancient civilization wiped out by dark magic. And these five friends may have awakened that evil again from accidentally tapping into ancient magic. Oh, what the fuck? Wait, there's more. And this is why their ancestors reduced magic to a plaything, as Obsidian says. Obsidian exclaims that they need to return magic to its former glory, as a great force for good and evil. And evil? Way to just throw that in there. But I get it. Down with them monetizing magic. Everyone should have access to power. But should everyone? Onyx even points this out, and Obsidian is like, well, yes.
Perhaps this time they shall handle it better. Or worse. Yes, perhaps.
That's not comforting at all. Just tell us how to unfreeze our friend. They remove their gems and put them onto this altar, Elements of Harmony style, to save their friend and the world. The first episode is so different tonally. My goodness. You stole my boyfriend, bitch.
The fate of the world is in your hands.
Okay, so that My Little Pony comparison is way more accurate than I thought, because Amethyst's gem had to go in the middle of the altar. There was no place for hers, but she ended up being in the center, the glue of this friend group, the element of friendship Twilight Sparkle. Then you have Honesty, aka Applejack, aka Onyx. Then you have a spunky fucking jerk, aka Rainbow Dash, aka Ruby. Rarity is Topaz, I guess, because fashion, or maybe she's Pinkie Pie, I don't really know. Then Sapphire is the only one pretty difficult to place because she's the smart one, which is also Twilight, but Amethyst's already Twilight, whatever. These girls just save the world and Cole, and how does Cole repay them?
Whoa, troll babes.
Whoa! Troll babes. The early 2000s were a fever dream, but I must say, I love how all of them say hi Cole in the most flirty way possible, and he reacts with genuine fear.
Hey, Cole. Hi, Cole. Hello.
Hi guys.
Hey. Are they gonna kill me? Also, side note, a lot of shrill screaming in this show.
Good day.
Ow, my ears. This happens every episode, I swear. Episode 3 starts with the casual reveal of pixies and also some sort of giant. We also have a very sweet moment between Amethyst and her mom. Amethyst is nervous for her first day of high school and her mom reassures her and comforts her. Amethyst's mom even gives her a necklace that belongs to Amethyst's grandma. Keep this in mind. When the BFFLs arrive in high school for the first time, immediately the older kids pick on them. Your mom saying everything would be fine was a lie. Get fucking owned, dude. And then we meet Snarf, this cute little dog. That's actually a beast from the Land of Darkness and is one of the bad guys of the series. Ugh, I hate that so much. It's like the Twonkies from Jimmy Neutron all over again. Oh my god, and the monster from the beginning is Snarf. I just put that together. That took me way too long. The spell chant they use to take them down is also comically long.
Magic of the five.
They're using Granny's necklace. Remember that. Now listen to this stupid chant.
What we five friends couldn't do alone, we'll do together, for together we've grown. With help from magic still unknown, magic from the heart of the sacred stone.
If you believe in a wish, and it comes from your heart, nothing that can stop us, till death do us part. We promise to share, we promise to care, all together as a team. Oh, also interesting narrative choice. Every episode ends with one of the girls testing their powers on this kid Kaboom, who just volunteered to be their lab rat, having all of them cast spells on him. Why would he let them do this? Are all these girls evil? Why are they torturing this guy? Practice on yourselves.
We can't practice on each other. What if one of us gets hurt?
What if Kaboom gets hurt? This episode even ends with Ruby making him burp monstrously fucking long to the point where it just sounds painful.
I'm gonna cast my mom's least favorite spell because I can. Burp!
Room.
And then she looked at the camera and was like, haha, fucking disgusting.
Gross!
What a fucking asshole. We see more creative Kaboom torture when Topaz turns him into half cat, half rat. A self-destructive nightmare to be sure. Now let me show you a scene where we learn something else about Kaboom. I didn't know where else to put it.
Turn Kaboom from fresh to foul.
In episode 4, we meet the other main villain, but shut up for a second. Onyx's voicemail message is...
Do you ever feel like a freak talking to a machine? Don't let that stop you.
What a legend. That's like if a flight attendant rolled down the aisle, stopped at your seat, looked you dead in the eyes and said, "What's the deal with airline food?" Anyway, back to the main plot. They accidentally broke the other bad guy free from jail. Oops. In their defense, I definitely fall for it too. Simon was pretending to be a helpless child in trouble. Snarf did the same shit last episode, but like I said, I too would fall for that shit twice. At the end of the episode, the Trollz girls banish Snarf and Simon back to the Shadow Realm. Then, for whatever reason, at the end of the episode, we see this headless mannequin walking around.
Somebody tell that mannequin she has absolutely no head for fashion.
This wasn't an established joke. I don't know why that happened. Can you imagine if I made a forced joke about mannequins that no one else really understands? I would never. Episode 5, Topaz was having a really shitty day. She keeps accidentally messing everything up, and of course, Ruby says something rude as fuck and makes her cry. And Onyx has to spell it out for her. Don't act surprised when you're the one who made her cry. I hate you, you douchebag. That's not exaggerating by much, believe it or not. In episode 2, Onyx even said that sometimes the prettiest ones are the worst of all, while staring at Ruby.
Some of the prettiest ones are the nastiest. Just like trolls.
Whatever.
This could have had some real shipping potential if Ruby then turned to her and was like, oh, thank you. But Onyx and Ruby still have huge romantic implications just based on the fact that Onyx's canonical love interest is Flint, who just looks like boy Ruby. More gay Onyx in a bit. So in this episode, Topaz was possessed by Simon. Possession magic only works when you have a host with low self-esteem. Aw, Topaz. Wait, did Simon just call me a slur?
Out of my way! Ben!
No, seriously, what the fuck did he just say? We learned that Amethyst's grandma, their teacher Mr. Trollheimer, and Obsidian are the last 3 ancient trolls. That's why her grandma's necklace is so powerful. We even saw some of their ancient magic.
Vortex spell, ancient style.
Vortex spell, ancient style. They should do everything like that. Morning coffee, ancient style. Contemplating my existence and the mere purpose of life. Ancient style. Taking a shit. Ancient style. Episode 6 and 7 focus on Sapphire, who up until this point had no personality other than being the smart one. When Sapphire asked too many questions in class, her friends put a spell on her to make her stop, forcing her to hold her tongue. Literally. Humiliating her in front of the entire class. At this point, Sapphire had no other moments that made her stand out, so when she was rightfully pissed, her friends seemed so shocked. They didn't know she was capable of anything other than, like, just standing there.
Sorry, Trolley Pop.
Topaz just said, sorry, Trolley Pop. She's so iconic! How am I supposed to give a shit about Sapphire when the other 4 are constantly upstaging her? To defeat Simon episode 5, they need more than just a chant. They need to go into the haunted woods at midnight to find ingredients for a spell. So now we're seeing a clear difference between ancient magic and the magic they're used to doing. Episode 7, Sapphire has a crush on this senior race car driver named Micah, who looks exactly like Rock, who Ruby was getting so defensive over in episode 1, remember? Most of their designs are so creative. Why did they do this? Micah flirts back with Sapphire despite having a girlfriend named Shale. And Shale's design is awesome. She has like cat eyes or like marble eyes. Also, I'm completely on Shale's side. She revealed later that she wears race-striped contact lenses that she can barely see out of for her boyfriend. Shale, oh my god, this is so sad. Leave his ass. Leave his ass. I also think I liked Sapphire better before she had a personality, because now all she's doing is home wrecking. Typical high ponytail having at. I gotta stop making those jokes. They're gonna kill me. So it was revealed that Shale is in on this elaborate plan with Micah. They're both just using Sapphire so that she can modify his race car to make it go faster so Micah can win the race. Is this supposed to make me feel bad for Sapphire? I don't. Not even a little. She thinks she successfully broke up a relationship, revels in that, and also ditches her friends for a dude she met in a day. In the next episode, Onyx, despite being the worst scoot driver out of all of them, challenges Micah to a race.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
She also kissed Sapphire on the cheek. She's so cute. She pretends to like not be touchy and like, oh, don't hug me, I'm gonna vomit. But she's the most affectionate out of all of them. Also, watch this.
Don't listen to those losers. You're gonna win.
Thanks, honey.
Your Honor, she's gay! Onyx ends up saving Micah, and Shale swallows her pride to say, hey, thanks for saving my dumbass boyfriend who didn't deserve it. Shale and Onyx! Shale and Onyx! Shale! Episode 9 wasn't too important. The girls just had to do community service hours for illegal scoot racing. Also, this episode had one of the worst chants I've ever heard in my life. All these curves are way too frustrating. Take this twisty path and make it straighten? They made frustrating and straighten rhyme.
No bars.
None.
Not a bar.
But I love that we know they canonically have a spell to make things straight, which explains Onyx. Episode 10 through 12 confirms every forced couple. Wow. Also, episode 11, Sapphire flirts with Rock just to piss off Ruby. Every time Sapphire says something other than,
is this going on my permanent record?
She's a huge asshole. I can't stand her. She's the worst. At the end of episode 13, Simon stole Amethyst's grandma's ring, which is made of pure Angermore. That contains the magic of trolls long past who were troublesome and greedy. Him having access to this type of magic has consequences, and this kicks off a 3-episode arc. Simon cast a spell to turn their town into how it was in the ancient times. So all the girls' crushes are calling them wenches and being super sexist. As we all know, sexism was cured in the 2000s, so they're all super caught off guard. They could not believe what they were hearing. This episode ends with the first big cliffhanger. Simon successfully caught all the ancient trolls, and Trollzopolis is still in the Middle Ages. Episode 15 starts with Simon creating a machine to snatch all the magic in the kingdom. After Amethyst suggests they disguise themselves as men, Onyx fantasizes about doing guy stuff. Sapphire's smart girl shtick finally comes in handy as she reverses the machine, making it give back all the magic it stole and sending them back to the present. The next arc is the most interesting. It's all about the ancients. It kicks off episode 16 when the BFFLs are starting to notice similarities between the ancients and their group. Apparently, Amethyst is like her grandma, which makes sense. Sapphire's like their teacher, of course, since they're both nerds. And they said Obsidian is like Ruby. I totally would have expected Obsidian to have more in common with Onyx, but whatever. Apparently, the other two in their group also have parallels to Topaz and Onyx. And they're both very impatient to hear about their ancients and what the hell happened to them. Will Onyx and Topaz meet the same fate? They're the best characters. I'm getting antsy now too. Okay, so Zirconia was turned into a tree and was being guarded by this dragon. Onyx and Topaz were able to turn Zirconia back into a troll, but she isn't speaking yet. Within this episode, it wasn't revealed yet, but it's very, very obvious that Zirconia is Topaz's ancient and the dragon is Onyx's. I feel like a dragon makes more sense for Ruby, but again, okay, classic Rainbow Dash and Applejack, having elements that should really belong to the other. Episode 17, I hate to say it, but my girl Topaz was being a dick. She's like, ew, why is my ancient so ugly and old?
She just can't be my ancient. She looks so awful. I hate to say it, but Zirconia's even kind of scary.
And it's even harsher because Amethyst's grandma was essentially like, you can save her life. Just hold her hand. And Topaz, being mature and rational, responded with, she's unmanicured! She learns from this, of course, and her and her ancient actually end up having one of the best relationships with each other. It's very cute by the end of the series, but still, they don't let us forget for a second that these 5 teen girls are the most vain people ever, except for Onyx. Onyx is great. Episode 18 reveals that Simon was the one that turned Zirconia into a tree and Spinel into a dragon 3,000 years ago. Spinel was just turned back into a troll, and he's really cool. I like him. Also, guys, Zirconia and Spinel are married. Onyx and Topaz's ancients are married. I love that for them. Applejack and Rarity is canon. During episode 19's field trip, we find out a lot about troll society and history. For example, trolls became the dominant life form after the Trollozoic era. They even had tall-haired dinosaurs. But more importantly than any of that, we learned that because of all the war, the troll ancestors decided only girl trolls can have limited bead magic, and the boys get nothing. I'm biased, but I thought that was pretty funny and fun. And I have a feeling these high school boy trolls are gonna be bitter about it, because why wouldn't they be? I want magic too! I'm just Ken. I want magic, magic man. Oh my god, boy Ruby ended up actually singing something like that.
Only girls can cast a spell. It put me in a funk. Why, oh why?
We also hear that the girls get their power from a tradition with liquid amber that turns into their gemstone. Next episode, episode 20, the BFFL's boyfriends are still bitter about not having magic, so they sneak into the amber caves.
I'm confused.
I know. That's one of the things I like most about you.
Your Honor, she's gay! The episode ended with all the magic going out because the boys and girls accidentally trashed the cave. This means that not only are the trolls' magic not working, but apparently all their technological advances are also run by magic. The hover scooters don't work. The spell phones don't work. The lights are flickering. Next episode, they raise the stakes even higher because if they don't replace the Amber Cave's altar by sunrise next day, the magic will not be restored and the ancients will die. What happened to have fun and shop? But of course they saved the day. Episode 22 through 24 focused on Ruby's character development. I was not expecting that. When the other girls are under an evil hypnotism spell, Ruby sees herself in their rudeness and breaks down crying. Episode 24, Ruby has to break them all free from Simon's spell with the power of friendship. Duh. This journey made me appreciate Ruby a lot more, but it still upset me. They banished Simon and Snarf. This is the last time we see them, and that feels like a damn shame. As a result of getting rid of the big bads, episode 25 through 27, the last 3 episodes of the series were so weak and useless. They go on a vacation and cheat on their boyfriends. That's seriously all that happens. I shouldn't say that. I don't know if they're exclusive. Also, Sapphire does have her one good moment of the series when she teaches this ogre how to read. It was very cute. So before we get back to DreamWorks Trolls, we have to talk about this lawsuit. It's one of the stupidest things I've ever read about. Deke Entertainment sued the Trollz doll company in 2007, 2 years after their series ended. They hit the doll company with a $20 million lawsuit because they had some sort of agreement that the doll company would take care of knockoff dolls on the market. Also, the Trollz doll company countersued Deke Entertainment for, quote, misrepresenting its ability to create and market a modern troll doll toy campaign and destroyed the image and goodwill of the doll. I don't know shit about the law or what went down with these two, but what it sounds like to me is that both companies were disappointed in the performance of this cartoon and they were pointing the finger at each other instead of pointing the finger, rightfully so, at us. That's right, this show should have done better. It was fucking hilarious.
The truth is, and I'm saying this honestly, you are ugly.
Like, what the actual hell did the toy company mean by destroyed the image and goodwill of the doll? Did you just wake up from a coma? Didn't you sign off on this? Why are you acting surprised? You saw the characters. You knew it wasn't gonna be about these wrinkly little old men. But what pisses me off more than anything is that Trollz with a Z and DreamWorks Trolls really could have lived together in harmony. But instead, it all came down to profit like it always fucking does. The DreamWorks Trolls isn't destroying the goodwill and image of the doll. Guess why? Because they're making bank! We're gonna discuss the other 2 DreamWorks movies as well as the 2 TV shows, and then it's big stupid theory time. I'm just gonna try to force these franchises together, because teamwork makes the dream works. DreamWorks.
Whoa, troll babes.
The movie starts with Cloud Guy telling us that the Trollz world is much bigger than Poppy or Branch knew. Which makes sense, because what even are you?
What don't you get? I'm a cloud guy. It's really quite simple.
First troll species we're introduced to this movie are the Techno Trolls. Trolls the shape of water trolls. They're these robo-mermaids, and I want to go to their raves so badly. Queen Barb of the Rock Trolls crashes their party and wants to take their string so techno music doesn't exist anymore. The premise of this movie right at the start annoys me, because if any genre of music were to take, it would be the pop trolls. But they can't do that because those are our main characters. Cut to our main characters being adorable. They're singing Trolls Just Wanna Have Fun, and Branch is lamenting about how he wants to confess his feelings to Poppy, which is sweet, but also, did you guys have your memory wiped or something? You confessed last movie, twice, and I was so confused about this I took to Google, and I saw many people's opinions saying, oh, their confession in the first movie was a friendship confession. The biggest stretch I've ever seen in my life. He also fist bumped the sun. So that explains Cloud Guy. Like, the moon and the sun and a lot of the clouds are just like this. Guy Diamond has a baby from his hair named Tiny Diamond. Tiny Diamond and his dad get their own section, you already know, moving on. Poppy's dad explains the 6 strings and the 6 main genres of music. Techno, country, rock, classical, funk, and pop. Cooper realizes he is most definitely from a different genre and goes off in his own quest to find more trolls like him. Poppy misunderstands Barb's world tour and thinks that Barb wants to unite all of them. So even though Branch thinks it's a bad idea, he joins Poppy on a journey to find Barb. I feel like Barb isn't really a rocker name.
My name is Barb!
Short for Barbara.
Short for barbed wire.
We meet more of the rock trolls, including Barb's dad, a very forgetful and forgettable old man. I point this character out because the deleted scenes of the first movie made me realize that they repurposed their original idea for Poppy's dad into this character. I love seeing the creative process. Poppy, Branch, and Biggie make their way to Symphonyville, which is where the classical trolls lived. It was very clearly taken over, and this cute talking penny whistle explains that Barb destroyed everything. I love that the classical trolls were being led by the conductor, and that their string was located in the conductor's baton. I thought that was all super fun and detail-oriented. Barb hires bounty hunters to get Poppy. Smooth jazz, reggaeton, K-pop, and the yodelers. And promises that whoever finds her gets to keep their music on this really tiny island. Ugh. Jeez, dude. This movie is making me feel really icky because it's really obvious what this is a metaphor for. Just like the Fire Nation and Avatar. This movie wouldn't have been my least favorite out of the three if this is how they dealt with Barb at the end. I don't care if it's for kids. I don't care! One group unaccounted for is the yodelers, which really pisses off Barb. Poppy and Branch and Biggie are now in the country territory. The country trolls are half horse. I love it. The country trolls lock up our little pop group because they think their music stinks. And to be fair, their mashup was trash. Our pop group escapes with the help of a country troll named Hickory. Branch immediately doesn't trust Hickory. He doesn't like how friendly he is with Poppy. This can be chalked up to his bunker days, romantic jealousy, but honestly, after the events of Creek, I don't really trust Poppy's tastes either. I didn't even notice this until I was editing, but the fact that the hair powers extend to the mustache is so cool. This goes so hard. Biggie's worm, Mr. Dinkles, almost dies and returns back to his realm. We see his father greeting him at the pearly gates or something. And when he's revived by Biggie, he's really disappointed. This little dude was so ready to die. He even jumps in a coffin during the end credits. That worm wants to be in the dirt. Chaz, the smooth jazz troll, seduces the group and distracts them with a drug trip before attempting to capture them. This horny jazz dude is one of my favorites. If it wasn't for Hickory, they would have been caught, and Biggie confronts Poppy. You told me nothing bad would happen. I'm out. Biggie leaves. Thank God, we didn't need him anyway. Bye, Biggie, you fucking bitch. I know Poppy hasn't been handling criticism well, and we're supposed to take Biggie's side, but I hate Biggie. Welcome to Watch Mojo. Here are the top 100 reasons of why I hate Biggie. Number 1, he's a cockblock. Cooper finds trolls just like him in this spaceship called Funk City. Also, Cooper is a prince. He has parents and a twin brother who have been searching for him ever since his egg was snatched. Best part of the whole movie is when the funk trolls told Poppy that the pop trolls were the first one to try and steal the strings, so I was right! Also, they talk about the blending of genres and cultures. So Cooper is a funk troll and a pop troll, while his brother likes hip-hop. While Poppy and Branch were fighting over her never listening to him, I noticed something. Why is his hair not blue like it was at the end of the last movie? I took to the Trollz wiki and found what I was looking for in a section dedicated to Branch's mental issues. Now I know I have to watch the holiday special. Great, awesome! Hickory was actually a yodeling troll in disguise with his brother, Dickory. Dickory? This dude always gets the shit end of the dick. Between his name, the fact that he had to pretend to be an ass the whole movie, and the fact that his brother Hickory switched sides. Hickory loves yodeling and he doesn't want the genre to die, but he genuinely wanted to help Poppy in the end. Once again, Poppy couldn't just take his advice and run. Oh, there's also a new member of Poppy's friend group. This is Legsley. She has stretchy legs. Did they name Legsley because of her leg power, or do you think that was just a coincidence? Barb turns everyone into rock zombies with the 6 magic strings on her guitar, but Poppy had gumdrops in her ears, like Hickory did with the jazz, remember? But anyway, since she didn't actually transform, that means Poppy just knew how to shred? And can make her eyes glow at will? Bonkers! Poppy smashed the guitar with all 6 strings, causing everyone to lose their color. For a brief moment, all the music died. But Cooper brought back the music with his heart. The music was inside them all along. Depression schmashession. Only Branch and Mr. Dinkles the Worm have long-lasting mental issues. Everyone else can just sing their colors back. Very cool. Also, Poppy and Branch said, I love you officially now, so I am running to the next movie because I need to see them kiss. Enough of this hug and high-fiving crap. Branch, kiss Poppy with tongue. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why I'm like this. Okay, so I'm moving on to the 3rd movie, but just so you know, there's an adorable holiday special that takes place between the events of the 2nd and 3rd movie. My watch order was so messed up for reasons I'll explain later, which is also when I'll explain the special. I didn't forget about it. You'll see.
Does singing kill my
relationship with my brothers? When Branch was a baby, he was in a boy band with his brothers, Brozone. The band was named Brozone, not his brothers. But because they couldn't hit the perfect harmony, their concert was a disaster, and John Dory was just being incredibly bossy, the group split up. We see how Floyd, despite also abandoning Branch, at least took the time to comfort him, unlike the other three. Floyd tells Branch, "When you miss me, wear this." And he gives Branch the leaf vest that Branch wears throughout the series, which means Branch always misses his brother Floyd. As I begin to dry my eyes, we flash forward to the present. He's listening to the Brozone music and reminiscing before Branch and Poppy attend Bridget's wedding. At first they made it sound like Poppy and Branch were getting married.
We're gonna be late to the royal wedding. Let's go get married.
Branch!
What? I mean, let's get Bridget and Crystal married.
And speaking of which, we better actually see their wedding. If the fourth movie casually drops Branch saying, "Oh, this is my wife," I will flush myself down the toilet. I need to witness the Broppy wedding, okay? I'm in too deep. But anyway, good for Bridget, she's the queen of the Bergens. And King Gristle's bachelor party yesterday seemed like a rager because they're all clearly hungover. We also have a timeline now, thanks to Tiny Diamond being a month old. So this is just 1 month after the events of the second movie. Branch's brother, John Dory, crashed the wedding just to get the band back together because Floyd is in trouble.
Remember earlier when I said you should open up to me and be real?
Well, you could have started by telling me you had a secret brother!
Former brother.
That's not how DNA works!
Floyd was captured by Velvet and Veneer, sibling pop stars and TikTok's favorite characters. They also resemble Betty Spaghetti's. Shout out to Moonfox with 4 X's on TikTok for this amazing art. Like, this painted doll looks exactly like Velvet. I'm gonna link it in a pinned comment. Floyd's talent is being taken by Velvet and Veneer because they're, and I want to use the exact quote from the movie because it's very funny, giant pop-obsessed succubi with no talent, so they've been stealing Floyd's talent. The only thing that can free Floyd from this diamond prison is the perfect family harmony. All these boy band references and jokes about frosted tips is just screaming, "Did you know Justin Timberlake voices Branch?" Yeah, I know. I'm trying to forget. Speaking of things I'm trying to forget, Poppy keeps mentioning how much she wished she had a sister. And her sketchy as shit father keeps looking away all guiltily.
What would I know about secret family members?
Not the secret sibling daddy issues. Been there, don't remind me. That was your casual Athena P trauma fart for this episode. Breathe it in, enjoy it. I forgot to mention, Branch does not react well to John Dory being there, but with every brother Branch meets, his walls are being broken down a bit. He actually really missed his brothers. We are making our way to a new location. Orbeez Water, Pool Noodle Jungle, beach ball birds and vaporwave vibes, all courtesy of Vacay Island. Inhabited by these Muppet people. Bruce/Spruce, voiced by Daveed Diggs, I noticed his voice right away, by the way, is married to Brandy, his very tall wife. I kept seeing clips from this on TikTok, and it still kills me.
She is my soulmate, my very tall soulmate. But we make it work.
How?
We don't even really know how it works. I'm kidding. I'm not. I don't know.
He also has 7 kids, so the guy fucks. Well, actually, we don't fully know. Guy Diamond had a kid all by himself, remember? But I mean, these kids don't look like him, so I can only assume that him and his wife Brandy have been vacationing pretty hard. But either way, he's happy. Love this tweet, by the way. Could not agree more. Velvet and Veneer's assistant is named Crimp, and she's walked all over.
You know that thing you asked me for? Space from you. Oh, no. Yeah, no. What?
She just created this device for them that she thought would be used to juice fruit, but much to Crimp's dismay, Velvet is actually juicing the crap out of trolls for their talent. Her brother Veneer is slightly more empathetic, and he reveals he doesn't actually want to kill trolls. As this viral clip shows,
"Please, I want some more."
Girl, we grew up in the suburbs. Our parents were dentists.
Their parents are dentists, which really explains Veneer's name. If you don't know what veneers are, here's a picture of Tana Mojo Jojo when one of hers fell out. We meet Viva and reunite with Branch's brother Clay at this mini golf course. They are the Putt-Putt Trolls. They are so out of the loop, they still think that the Bergens want to eat them. It is revealed that Viva is Poppy's older sister, and that their dad not telling Poppy is so dad. And then they start laughing. Why is that something you're laughing about? That's not a good thing. They have a whole sister's number, but guys, we need to save Floyd. We don't have the time. Oh no, wait, the Branch brothers also join in this song. There is no sense of urgency in musicals. So that whole no troll left behind thing from the first movie was a lie. Many trolls were separated, and this dude Pepe, the king, didn't even search for his daughter. Cooper's parents did, so why couldn't you? Why did you immediately assume the worst? Why didn't you, I don't know, try? As a result, Viva has attachment issues now, and she doesn't want Poppy to leave. But Poppy needs to go help her boyfriend get his brother back. Also, Clay and Viva are a couple, right? Branch has a big fight with his brothers because they all pretty much admitted that after they free Floyd, they never want to see each other again. Branch was, of course, like, oh nice, you guys are gonna leave me again? And you think it's silly that I'm upset about it? Keep in mind, he was a baby the first time they all left, being raised by his grandmother who died 6 to 8 years later. In the brothers' defense, they couldn't really figure out where their brother was since they had to flee from the Bergens. But they're selfish assholes anyway. Branch decides he's saving Floyd on his own, and of course Poppy joins him. And so does Tiny Diamond, who's not as annoying in this movie as you'd think he'd be. I love the Diamonds so much. Hi, Editing Athena here. This video may simply never end because now my Tumblr is full of fanon and it's fascinating. I honestly didn't really think about these 4 brothers after I watched. I was mostly focused on Branch and how wonderfully his relationship with Poppy evolved. Like, this is the most supportive we've ever seen Poppy, and I love it. I also thought 5 siblings revealed in one movie was ambitious as fuck, and probably not the choice I would have went with, but clearly it paid off because people love these brothers. My favorite of the 4 would be Bruce. I love his wife and family, and Defeat Diggs voices him. I like that Clay is with Poppy's sister Viva, as I said. Floyd is being tortured the whole movie, rip, and that leaves John Dory. I didn't have many feelings surrounding John Dory other than that he's slappable, but boy oh boy does Tumblr love him. And you want to know something else? I'm hooked, okay? You took a character I didn't give a shit about and gave him a story I think is so fun. What is going on? Stop. Poppy's sister Viva meets Bridget and she realizes, oh, the Bergens really are nice now. Also, we get to hear this honeymoon moment.
I didn't think we'd both find ourselves tied up on this honeymoon.
Pardon? The rest of Brozone get captured by Velvet and Veneer. This chase scene ensues with one of the best musical numbers of the entire franchise. Hot take, the singing voice of Velvet should have just voiced her for the entire movie because I hate that Velvet is associated with Amy Schumer. The brothers and sisters do a perfect harmony to free them from the diamond prisons. We have a Floyd death fake out, which didn't fake me out at all. So few kid shows follow through with that. The only reason I'm happy they didn't kill off Branch's brother is Branch has enough issues to deal with already, okay? Veneer admits to everything bad they did, but still gets arrested, even though he exclaimed, wait, but I turned over a new leaf, but you still committed the crimes, buddy. And credit where it's due, he handles this with grace. He smiles as the handcuffs are put on him. Then we have NSYNC perform, because of course we do. They had to go for it. NSYNC's back, all right, doon, 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 doon. Branch says very smugly, you didn't think Brozone was my last boy band, did you? Yeah. I did. Your grandma died when you were still very young. How many boy bands could you have been a part of? But shut up, none of that matters. Branch and Poppy kissed. Now let's discuss the shows, the powers, the theories, and every stupid question I can think to ask.
The truth will be revealed!
Trollz The Beat Goes On ran from 2018 to 2019, while TrollsTopia ran from 2020 to 2022. TrollsTopia is the direct sequel of Trollz The Beat Goes On, but for whatever reason they were released on different streaming services. Literally, these shows have the same cast, and TrollsTopia will constantly reference things that happened in the previous series, but it can't be found in the same place. Fucking annoying. However, the main focus of the series completely shifts, because while Trollz The Beat Goes On focuses on Poppy's friends from the first movie and expands on the pop village she's the queen of, TrollsTopia instead focused on all the different genres of trolls since it took place after the second movie, forcing some characters out of the spotlight and forcing a totally new group of trolls into the spotlight. There's a whole new cast of main characters in TrollsTopia in the form of these tribe ambassadors. Val Thundershock from the Rock Tribe, Holly Darlin from Country, who apparently is run by an oligarchy, so Poppy is the first queen she's ever met, Low Note Jones from Funk, Synth from Techno, and Dante Crescendo from Classical. There are times I love this and times I hate this. First, let's get some ridiculous theories out of the way. We have seen many creatures throughout this series. Milton the Critternarian even says that he sees new creatures almost every day in Season 8, Episode 6 of Trollz The Beat Goes On. Their world is so varied, it is impossible to keep track of everything, but I still tried. I don't know why. Critters' interactions with trolls can be categorized in the following 3 ways: nuisance, admiration/pet, and lastly, exploited for their skills or corpse. Let's start with critters being used as an obstacle. This was established as early as the first movie when Poppy was avoiding danger at every corner. In the shows, they definitely expand on this. It's no longer just the threat of being eaten. There's also certain creatures that are attracted to a certain emotion or state of being. Whimsy wasps will swarm when they're having too much fun. Boring beetles will swarm when they're not having enough fun. And you can't even win with the happy medium because there's also the moderator Generation Mole. I'm not sure if you can tell, but this world is a little silly. In TrollsTopia, there's also the Grumbleweeds that are attracted to annoyance. Season 2, Episode 2 of Trolls The Beat Goes On, Branch plants many eye stalks to monitor the safety of the trolls, but it quickly spirals out of control when the eyeball plants trap them due to nothing being the safest thing of all. These eyeball plants also have one of the best songs in the series, a true agoraphobia anthem. I tell you nothing is the safest thing of all. Next time I don't leave my house due to the fear of everything, I'm listening to this. Then you have the grabby crabs that just steal shit. There are many more examples of these animals and bugs and plants being the main conflict, but I'll touch on that in other sections. Next up we have admiration/pets. The concept of keeping an animal as a pet was introduced in Season 5, Episode 4 of TrollsTopia. Every tribe has best pet friends, except for the pop trolls. Also, we have clarification that Mr. Dinkles is not Biggie's pet, it's actually the other way around. Everything I've learned about these two is against my will. In Trolls The Beat Goes On, we meet the Swag Stags. If you make these creatures laugh, they give you free shit. Now we have the most disturbing look at the trolls' treatment of these critters when they use them as transportation. Sometimes it seems like how someone would ride a horse, meaning these critters are alive. The best example of transportation creatures is in Trollz 3. Even though we see inside this bus and it looks very industrial, we see it panting like an overexcited dog. We see it very expressive. It feels like the cat bus from My Neighbor Totoro. It doesn't feel creepy. Although it is confusing that they harnessed this creature's ability to teleport using the hustle button, the ability to teleport is due to this bus possessing the spirit of a god named Hustle Man. In the movie, their treatment of these transportation creatures feels more like they are the superior beings and they're just helping the trolls for shits and giggles. Meanwhile, in the TV shows, these creatures often feel completely lifeless. The submarine fish particularly. We also have this disturbing shot of a fish boat being gnawed in half, revealing two parasitic drivers. And what makes it even worse is the nonchalant way they use these critters for everything. Branch says he invented something for security, and then he brings us to this creature. What do you mean you invented that? There's also creatures that act like alarms, bubble machines, ovens, microphone defibrillators, toothpicks, confetti cannons, and dramatic eye zoom-ins. In Trolls The Beat Goes On and TrollsTopia, it feels much more like the trolls are parasitic. At least the pop trolls are. The funk trolls' inventions are 1000% mechanical. They don't need to gut a fish to make a spaceship. In fact, in TrollsTopia, we see way more non-creature vehicles. One last thing I want to mention about the critters is their ability to create life from death. In the first holiday special, the Catterbus exploded into thousands of butterflies. Trolls The Beat Goes On also has this caterpillar fun meter. When the fun meter is maxed out, it explodes, again, into thousands of butterflies. In the Trolls The Beat Goes On episode Truth or Dare, we see that rehydrating dehydrated snail slime can bring the creature back to life from this powder. The unpredictable nature of this show has all sorts of phoenixes rising from all sorts of ashes. Take this scene in TrollsTopia. Val smashes her guitar, and I guess from the power of total punk rockness, the guitar debris birthed two punk rock birds. It's hard to label what's alive and what isn't in this universe. Speaking of which, what's the deal with Fuzzbert and these Fuzzlings? In the Trolls The Beat Goes On episode The Imposter, we see inside Fuzzbert's hair. We see a void full of other Fuzzlings. That's the species name for these all-hair trolls, but the way he talks is through bleeps and bloops and other mechanical sounds. We see this again in the episode The Fluffleberry Quest, when the group needs to figure out the main components in Branch's grandma's cake. They plop it into Fuzzbert and we hear dial-up noises before he prints out a recipe. So apparently the pop trolls wouldn't just stop at critters, because Fuzzbert is a troll they turned into machinery. I believe Fuzzbert was analytical and the smartest troll around, and then, well, he died, but they still needed him. Their solution? Take the knowledge and magic of his hair and make it his whole body so people couldn't see the machinery within, and then clone the shit out of him. In TrollsTopia, we learned that when Poppy wanted to make a new arcade game, she enlisted the help of the Fuzzlings. But they created a life-size pinball machine that was way too dangerous to play. It's clear that the Fuzzlings hate that they've been reduced to a robo-critter and are now revolting. The The trolls, aside from clearly being optimistic and opportunistic as hell, also have a variety of abilities. Something all of them possess regardless of genre is their hair transformations, which has a solid foundation in these movies, but is cranked up to goddamn level 10,000 in the TV shows. Their hair can drill, it can be played as an instrument, it can glow, it can be used as a hairdukin, a parachute, other weapons and tools, a mask. It genuinely makes them overpowered as fuck. But we also see that it can break. There are bones in there. In the TrollsTopia episode Follicle Fitness, we learn that hairspray is like a performance enhancer that leads to poor, weak hair health in the long run. The doctor even prescribes a gym membership to encourage hair strengthening. So at least this is something they have to maintain as opposed to it being an unstoppable magical force. Some powers are also specific to a certain kind of troll. For instance, the classical trolls have wings. The techno trolls can control water. The techno trolls, I believe, are also the only ones that are able to breathe underwater. Even though the second movie led me to believe that Barb the rock troll could breathe underwater, we see that other trolls are incapable of this. The subgroup of pop trolls known as the glitter trolls also have their own abilities and their own culture, but we'll talk about that later. First,
What the fuck is that fucking thing? What the fuck?
the season 2 finale of Trolls The Beat Goes On ends with the cliffhanger that somebody is pretending to be a troll to spy on them. They discovered this by finding a chest full of disguises and a journal that was full of all their habits. Poppy and Branch in the season 3 premiere worked together to try and find out who this is. And guys, the imposter was Archer Pastry. Holy shit, I know that sounds random to most of you, but his intro was so unassuming. He was this red glitter troll that Guy Diamond was a bit intimidated by during the Funlympics, but he just seemed like a friendly guy. I gasped. I guffawed. So anyway, he's actually part of a species that are cousins to the Bergens, known as the Invaders, or the Partycrashers, and his real name is Kaboom. Oh my gosh, like that dude from Trollz. Keep that in your back pocket. The episode ends with Kaboom being a troll prisoner until he agrees to be their friend. But you know what, fair, he did threaten to take over their land once the rest of the Partycrashers got there. And they're not torturing him or anything, obviously. They're just keeping an eye on him to make sure he doesn't escape. In the episode Lost in the Woods, Kaboom tries to escape, but him and Poppy end up getting lost in the fearsome forest. We get a bit of his angst. His loved ones turned on him too, so him and Branch will have a lot to bond over, you'd think. Right after Poppy was so nice and genuine to him, he abandoned her only to face a wrestler by the name of Certain Death, which is actually who Cloud Guy was referring to in the first movie.
Certain death.
Cute. Poppy saves Kaboom even though she's well aware of the betrayal. Hope they move past this whole pushover thing. But this actually works in their favor because Kaboom reveals that the day they caught him, there was another Partycrasher there that was already on his way back with the other Partycrashers. His angst sounds a lot like something Kaboom from Trollz would say after he realized how used he's been. In the first and only double-length episode of Trolls The Beat Goes On, the Partycrashers crashed the party. The prophecy has been fulfilled. When Branch successfully wound up his first hairball dukin to launch at the Partycrashers, Mr. Dinkles jumped in front of them, meaning this little dude still wants to die. Kaboom's redemption was also hilarious. This was like a Prince Zuko speedrun. Also, apparently this leader dude is his brother, and they both ran away to join the Partycrashers, but now his brother's even being a dick to him. Oh, brother issues? Sounds like something else these two could have bonded over, but unfortunately this was before Trolls 3, so Branch's brothers just didn't exist. Anyway, they defeat the invaders with this horrifying move, and Kaboom is an honorary troll by the end of the episode, and receives a hug for the first time. Aww. We never see him again. Oh, and by the way, seasons 2 into 3, 3 into 4, and 4 into 5 all had season finale cliffhangers that led to season premiere resolutions. So the pattern continues when season 5 also ended with another cliffhanger. At the very end of this episode, there was a casual reveal of why is everyone in the town frozen? This didn't feel out of place since the last 3 seasons also had big lore drops and premiere resolutions, like I said. So I was starting up season 6 expecting the bit to go somewhere, and instead the reveal was, oh, they were just playing freeze tag. And it was super inconsequential, and the episode just moves on past that. What a fake out. Imagine waiting for a new season and getting that. Get owned, dude. The trolls trolled us. One of my favorite parts of the movies is the stunning, gorgeous, beautiful relationship between Branch and Poppy. I love them. I want to protect them at all costs. And don't get me wrong, there are some adorable moments in the TV show as well. Not as many in TrollsTopia, but I digress. In season 1, episode 5 of Trolls The Beat Goes On, Creek returns. No! You know, the troll that sent them all to their death. Yeah, he's back and he says he's sorry, and everyone but Branch forgives him. He didn't even have to work for it. They said, "We forgive you," immediately. In fact, Branch has to say he's sorry for not immediately trusting Creek, and also calling him out on a cowardly lie. I hate every single Creek episode so much. It makes me hate every character except for Branch. Any show or movie with the message of forgive despite the person not doing anything to earn it makes my blood boil. Flames on the side of my face. In season 2, episode 4, after Branch is constantly ignored, we finally see the consequences of not listening to him. Many episodes of this series is just the lesson of the second movie, but way more annoying. However, I love how sassy he is.
But trust me, it's a long list of eco-disasters.
Such as...
You're so annoying.
You know you like it.
A few moments later.
Stay safe by blending in with their muddy habitats. Unless an overzealous pink-haired troll decides to shine a giant light on them, despite her wise and handsome friend's repeated warnings.
You're so annoying!
You know you like it!
It smells like someone cooked in here. In the episode The Imposter, there's a whole song called Don't Listen to Branch. Come the fuck on. Like, listen, as a standalone series, I could see how this joke is silly and funny, but after 3 movies chronicling the constant loneliness and betrayal Branch has felt from everyone, with the only person grounding him being Poppy, is such a slap in the face because every disrespect he's faced in the series was led by Poppy. I feel like these shows assassinated her character. This one instance was actually her trying to calm down the rest of the group of trolls while actually believing Branch, but still. In season 3, it's clear they're trying to even it out by having him be a bad listener as well, but this also makes no sense. They just wanted to portray him as equally as stubborn, and listen, that I buy more than this shit-ass communication. In season 4, episode 3, Poppy's I can fix him attitude was the worst. In this episode, Branch takes on a bet from Guy Diamond and Smidge, and he won because he did all the items on his list in a day. But because no one else was having fun, he's actually the loser. That's not how this works! Nothing in the bet mentioned people having fun. He was just supposed to complete the items in his list in a day, which he did. But they still proceeded to have him carry out the punishment of losing the bet, even though he didn't lose the bet, by having him dress like a baby. Something we know he's not the biggest fan of in Trollz 3. And then the episode ends with Poppy proudly exclaiming that she made Branch a better troll. Boo! In season 4, episode 2, we learn that dream suckers put their victims to sleep and trap them in a dream fantasy catered to their specific wants. Branch's biggest dream is to have people respect him. They even make a joke in Branch's dream about if Branch had it his way, Creek would be rightfully kicked out. Wow, really speaking to every major issue I had with the show here. TrollsTopia handles Creek a lot better, having him be more of the butt of the joke. Every time he's brought up, it's more like, hey, did we mention how much we hate this guy? Now that's much better. But here's where this section takes a fascinating turn, because as much as everyone dismisses Branch, he's also constantly being hit on by everyone, especially in TrollsTopia. In the Trolls The Beat Goes On episode Model Behavior, we find out that Branch is canonically attractive in this world. I don't know what to do with this information. It seems like a one-off joke until TrollsTopia. Holly, the ambassador from the country tribe, immediately calls him cute. This is one of the first things she says in the entire series. Branch also has a crazy amount of chemistry with Synth. Here's another scene where Holly and Synth compliment how cute Branch is together. This can easily be seen as just friends being friends, but I don't know, dude. Let's look at the holiday specials, and then maybe you'll see just how different the Broppy ship is between the movies and the television series.
There's 2 of them!
The first holiday special takes place immediately after the first movie. Poppy thinks the Bergens need a new holiday since their one and only holiday of eating trolls can't be celebrated anymore. She gets very overzealous, listing off many holidays like Bubble Day, New Year's Eve, Catch Your Friends Day, Balloon Squeal Day, and Tearaway Pants Day, where James Corden gets worse with public indecency. Here's the other holidays mentioned in this special alone. The Bergens are very overwhelmed with this gesture, and the presentation Poppy put together unintentionally physically harmed them. Poppy and Bridget had their first fight, which immediately got resolved when the Bergens made a new holiday celebrating their friendship with the trolls. It's called Trollabration. Yay! Yay! I don't know what they were talking about on the wiki. This doesn't explain why Branch's blue hair went away. Like, sure, he was practicing how to smile and struggling, but this wasn't the mental health journey I was imagining. In fact, I think the third movie painted a better picture of his trauma than any of the others ever did. But anyway, something else cool about this special before we move on to the next one is that the Catterbus was eaten by a wormhole, which causes this trippy sequence where they all turn into troll dolls. And I'm so glad they went with this choice because I had no idea that Cooper was actually inspired by a real Trollz giraffe that was made in the 60s. Trollz Holiday in Harmony takes place after the second movie and sometime during TrollsTopia, apparently, because we see Val Thundershock and Holly Darling in the special, even though they're extremely watered down. Anyway, this special is all about Poppy and Branch going on dates and getting nervous getting each other gifts. It's super cute. It was, and I don't say this lightly, fucking adorable. Branch is panicking trying to invent something, but it blows up. I need you to know I'm making the conscious decision not to spiral about him shooting through the sky, because this video would be 2 hours longer. He ends up making this shitty scrapbook. Scrapbook so bad you can call it a shat book. But it's clear he worked very hard on it, so it's incredibly sweet. Meanwhile, Poppy got him a giant box full of nothing. We got your favorite thing. Disappointment! She said she couldn't think of what to get the best troll in the world. She kisses him on the cheek, he's incredibly giddy about it. They call each other boyfriend and girlfriend throughout the special, and guess what? I ate it up. And I got a cavity from the sweetness. I just wish I watched this special before I watched the show, because their relationship in 2D form is nowhere near this tender and caring. You can say the comfort of teasing and razzing your partner comes with time, but that's not even it. It's clear that in the TV show, especially TrollsTopia, that Poppy puts him in the same category as the rest of her friends. And listen, it makes sense for the focus to be on friendship in TrollsTopia, but would it have killed them to say boyfriend and girlfriend like once? Especially because in the third movie, it's been a month. Tiny Diamond says he's a month old, but by the end of TrollsTopia, Tiny Diamond is a year old. I'm not stupid, okay? I know that DreamWorks didn't let their show in on the movie timeline. And the movies obviously don't give a fuck enough about this show to try and make it make sense. These 3D cameos of Holly and Val are the closest thing we have to acknowledgement, and they were so out of character. Just awkwardly standing next to the troll tribe leaders we met in the second movie. Like they're just some sort of country and rock sidekicks, as opposed to some of Poppy's closest friends. It's a lose-lose. On the one hand, I love Poppy and Branch's relationship being highlighted more, but to have all the other characters just stand and watch and cheer for them like they're a bunch of nobodies doesn't feel right either. At that point, just have the movies and shows be separate, completely separate. Especially with Legsley. This motherfucker is only seen in the second movie and the second holiday special. What a useless addition. Also, by the way, in the TV show, Branch is a lot better at scrapbooking and inventing, and Poppy would never not get a gift. Like, in the TV show, Poppy and Branch are just too good at everything besides being vulnerable with each other, which is their biggest strong suit in the movies. I think the third movie caught on to how difficult it would be to include TrollsTopia in the movie canon, so they just gave up. And honestly, great decision. I love Guy Diamond so much. First things first, this man had a baby all on his own. If any character would, it's this one. He is seen constantly hugging himself, loving himself, complimenting himself, staring at his own ass, relatable king. He had a whole ass kid out of self-love. We'll get back to Tiny Diamond in a second, but first let's discuss Guy and the other glitter trolls in Trolls The Beat Goes On, which takes place before Tiny was born. In season 3, they told each other stories to try and bond with the prisoner Kaboom. These stories pull inspiration from Greek mythology, so in their universe, I don't know how real this is. I don't know if this is like a religion to them or just a fable. The only reason I bring this up is because I love the glitter troll's existence being explained by a version of King Midas. In this story, it's King Gaidas. You get it? You get it? Because his name is Guy. And when he wished for the glitter touch, it seemed like it would end in the same way the Midas touch story did, with him regretting his decision when he turned himself into, instead of gold, a pile of glitter. Until he rose from that pile of glitter into a brand new troll species. It's cute, it's random, it fits the logic of this world. In season 5, episode 3, Guy Diamond lost his glitter. TikTok pointed out that he only speaks in auto-tune when the glitter is on him in this one scene where he's frantically trying to put the glitter back on himself, but later in the episode, he was auto-tuned throughout an entire song, and he didn't have the glitter on him at that point. I think the auto-tune is just a Guy Diamond thing. We've never seen another glitter troll sing in auto-tune. The one time we did see it, it was Sky Toronto, but he was using a special microphone. He doesn't have the natural ability to do this like Guy. Tiny Diamond prefers hip-hop music and also doesn't sing in auto-tune, so it's not genetic either. Anyway, the only way to restore a glitter troll is to go to the fountain of glitter. After he dunked himself in the glitter fountain, he got his shine back, but it will turn into a laser if he's too prideful, so in this episode he has to learn humility.
Hey, can y'all boo me real quick? Thank you. I needed to be humbled.
In Season 8, Episode 2, we learn that glitter trolls have to sign their name in glitter as an indication of sincerity. It's like a tone indicator for them. So anything not signed in glitter is read sarcastically. In the second half of this episode, Poppy and Guy Diamond are looking after troll toddlers who act like normal toddlers, as opposed to Tiny Diamond, that immediately as soon as he popped out of his dad's hair, he was pretty much fully mentally developed. Theory: when two trolls produce sexually, the outcome is what we would consider a normal baby. You know, all stupid and not knowing anything. But because Tiny only has one parent, he's more fully developed mentally, kind of like Athena popping out of Zeus's head. Season 8, Episode 4, new glitter troll power unlocked. Aside from farting glitter, Guy Diamond can also apparently turn his ass into a solid diamond, meaning that perfect brother harmony in Trolls 3 could have killed him. Season 8, Episode 1, Truth or Dare, shows us that a glitter troll wearing clothes is seen as unnatural and disturbing. Okay, then explain Gia Grooves. TrollsTopia Season 7, Episode 3, Guy is bitten by a glampire bat and has the sudden urge to wear glamorous clothing, which is especially concerning because, as we all know, glitter trolls don't wear clothes. The end reveals that maybe Guy Diamond really does like wearing clothes sometimes. I don't buy it. If this guy's ass isn't out, I don't even know who he is anymore. And lastly, just because I thought this was so stinking cute, Season 7, Episode 5 reveals that Guy and Tiny Diamond come from a long line of blanket fort architects. 1-year-old Tiny Diamond starts a colossal project, negotiating with the likes of big businessman Sky Toronto. Just by saying please, Tiny Diamond is able to get the location he wants because Sky Toronto moves his entire business. Now that's power. Tiny isn't able to complete his blanket fort due to obstacles outside of his own control, and we have this really sweet scene of Guy Diamond just being the best dad ever and comforting his son. I goddamn loved it, but I might be biased. When I say dad, you say D issues. Dad. 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 We're falling into the Shrek-verse.
Ew. I'm kind of over the whole multiverse trend that's happening in like every single franchise.
The wormholes seen in the show are these swirly little holes. Not at all like the wormhole from the first holiday special, but more similar to the hustle mode of the bus in the third movie. Anyway, the whole wormhole episode of Trolls The Beat Goes On introduces us to many different universes. In one, the Bergens are small and the trolls are large. One has many cloud guys, one has many branches, one has a giant Mr. Dinkles, one with minimalistic shapes, North Troll Pole, old school Disney, a personality gender swap world, a world just like their own but hugs don't exist, a puppet world which I think really should have been done with real puppets, the Trolls dolls, again, it's getting a little stale now, Trolls Mythology Universe reel confirmed, Upside Down universe, and lastly, before they return home, they're in a scrapbook universe, which is actually just a pocket dimension of possibly their own universe. We see time travel wormholes as well. The one in Trolls The Beat Goes On just opened up randomly, but in TrollsTopia, with the existence of funk trolls, they can open up a time travel wormhole or a wormhole to another dimension with the help of Low Note Jones or Rhythm and Beat, also known as R&B, the Inventor Sisters. The funk trolls are on a whole other level. Here we see their calendar, and Val even exclaims that she's 5,000 years old in funk years. I guess time being different in space makes sense. Also, Synth reads from a funk scrapbook and then exclaims that he now knows all math. Anyway, in the TrollsTopia episode Wormhole Scavenger Hunt, Low Note Jones hosts a scavenger hunt that takes place in multiple dimensions. We see the bubble wrap dimension, jigsaw puzzle dimension, video game dimension, pillow dimension, and some sort of dimension with a crab apple tree creature. But even more importantly, we meet different versions of Poppy, Guy Diamond, and Holly Darlin. The alternate reality version of Poppy is known as Pushy Poppy, and she's just a huge bitch. We meet Dingy Diamond, who's just Guy Diamond from the Didn't Wipe Your Ass grass dimension, and alternate reality Holly just has a Cockney accent. The fact that they didn't explore the dimension of Trollz with a Z is a damn shame, but I guess there's still hard feelings there. Dare I say, get over it? Season 6, Episode 2 of Trollz The Beat goes on. We experience Marsh-Tato Eve into Marsh-Tato Day, which celebrates the harvest of this type of food that grows with the help of the Marsh-Tato Fairy, and all the Trollz traditions showing the fairy how much they care. Bars. That's what the trolls believed until Branch did actual research and discovered that there is no Marsh-Tato fairy. There's this little creature called Marsh-Tato Mary, and she doesn't help the Marsh-Tatos grow. She just steals the Marsh-Tatos every other day of the year, except for Marsh-Tato Day because it's too foggy out. Marsh-Tato Mary clearly has a thing against trolls, calling them elves, and based on Branch's reaction, we can tell this is not a flattering thing to trolls. They're like, hey, please don't call us that. Branch doesn't tell the other trolls the truth because he wants to keep the spirit of this holiday alive, instead saying that Marsh-Tato Mary is the Marsh-Tato fairy's greatest enemy. And all the trolls chase Marsh-Tato Mary out of town. In Season 2, Episode 2 of TrollsTopia, Chaz, the smooth jazz troll, is back. Remember from the second movie? And he wants to turn TrollsTopia into Jazztopia. He almost got away with it, but the only reason he didn't is because jazz has no effect on children. He's not able to hypnotize children. In the episode Bygone Bergen, we meet a Bergen who still wants to eat trolls. He was out of town for the events of the first movie, so he's just set in his old ways. Poppy was really trying to see the good in him and not listening to her friends, but this guy doesn't have a change of heart. Not everyone is safe and redeemable message in Trollz? I wasn't expecting that. In the episode Troublesome Trio, Chaz the Smooth Jazz Troll, Marsh-Tato Mary, and Pushy Poppy all team up. They take this threat way more seriously than the Bergen that still wants to eat them. And would you believe me if I told you that we never see that Bergen again? They don't relocate, they don't warn other people about this Bergen that wants to eat them. It's just never brought up again after that episode. But let's talk about this new League of Villains. They can't even decide what their plan is.
I'm the Jazz Trio. I'm the Jazz, and you guys are the backup Jazz.
So Poppy helps them work together. It's funny because she's harming herself to help these people that hate her. Branch is fed up, as he should be. At the end of the episode when Poppy is monologuing about the magic of friendship, Marsh-Tato Mary called her an elf again, which as we all know is a slur to trolls. Poppy, have some self-worth, Jesus. Also, Branch is so supportive in this scene. He's such a good boyfriend. He's also such a showboat. Once he got past the singing trauma of the first movie, there is no stopping this guy. The boy can sing, and he loves to, and I love it. Side note, this trio's dynamic was so fun, and I wanted to see more of it, but for whatever reason, Poppy was right. They were too busy being friends that they didn't have time to be evil anymore. This could be chalked up to the demographic of this show, but oh, Trollz with a Z, how I miss your thwarting villain shenanigans. In the Trollz The Beat Goes On episode Don't Worry Be Peppy, we see Poppy's father take on a variety of hair hobbies. Hair pottery, hair quilting, hairigami. These hobbies are supposed to give this ex-ruler's life meaning. As a standalone series, again, this is fine, but wouldn't that time have been better spent looking for his lost daughter? Obviously, this was written before they knew that's where the story was going, but that whole plot line made this guy terrible in my eyes. He still chants "No troll left behind" all proudly, even though he knows it's a lie. Again, I know why this is, but it's hard to ignore. It pissed me off. Also, listen to this sketchy shit he casually dropped.
I remember my first review. It was winter and food was scarce. The people were desperate for something to eat. So they turned to me to decide, who would it be?
Wait, what?
But that's a story for another time.
Okay. He really says no troll left behind because he's a cannibal? That's what I got out of that. No troll left behind, because he's eating all of them. What's up, you crazy fucks? It's your girl, Editing Athena. We are just seconds away from the massive theory, which I'm very excited about. I just wanted to let you know that there was supposed to be another section here dedicated to my favorite TrollsTopia episodes, but it ruined the flow and my brain's getting melty. But if you're interested in hearing me gush over the Search for Peace, an episode all about Branch's grief, subscribe to my second channel. That'll be up on there. So obviously in Trollz with a Z, we have the girls getting their power from gems, which is made by the Amber and the Amber amber caves. But in DreamWorks Trolls, they get their magic from the music. Well, listen to this shit. Season 7, Episode 7 of Trolls The Beat Goes On gives us an origin of troll gems in this universe. When a troll baby's hair gets cut, it's planted into the ground, and it grows into a plant that has their gem, and it glows when they sing. This is also the first time we've seen Poppy's gem, so talk about shoehorn, but it works for my case, so shut up. Branch is also getting his gem now, probably because his parents, his brothers, and his grandma weren't there to teach him, so he has to do it this late. This dude is so damaged, I feel bad for him constantly. So yes, gem magic exists here too. In fact, Season 8, Episode 7, we go over specific gems and their powers, and they even match the characters with the Z that they're named after. The switching bodies Ruby? Yeah, Ruby from Trollz also knows how to get under people's skin. Topiary Topaz? That's just fashion for trees, bitch. What other abilities do they both share? We see the Trolls with an S appearances change according to their mood. Their hair turns white when they're scared and droops when they're sad. Trolls with the Z's hair also droops when they're sad, as seen in Episode 5. Maybe they're not as different as we thought. Actually, they're still super different. But again, shut up! Let me finish. So in that Wormhole episode where I thought it was a wasted opportunity that they didn't visit the Trolls with a Z, I actually purposely left out that this wormhole opened. They didn't go through it, but we see this volcano. Obviously, a volcano isn't the most distinct thing about Trolls with a Z, but it is one of the last things we see in the last episode. I'd love to suspend my disbelief, but I gotta be honest here. The volcanoes look pretty different, but I'm still rolling with it. You can't stop me. And finally, let's talk about Kaboom. Kaboom in one universe is an abused lab rat, while in the other we knew that he ran away from his family to join this group. He also implies he wasn't always a troublemaker. Now, what does this mean? Aside from this being the group name, it's also heavily implied that this is the species name, the Cousins of Bergens. So what Kaboom is saying that he wasn't always like this personality-wise and appearance-wise. My final theory. DreamWorks Trolls is Trolls with a Z after the volcano exploded. Hear me out. Trolls with a Z was so ominous about this fucking volcano. It apparently erupted every time the girls fought. Do you think these girls are gonna stop fighting? No! My thoughts exactly. So I believe the volcano erupted, melting everything including the gems. The combination of these gems' magic plus the volcanic magma combined to turn into this glitter magma we saw in the episode Glitter Rush. The new trolls were reborn from the ashes, as we've seen many critters do in this world. What about Kaboom? Oh, well, all the spells clearly mutated him. And when the volcano erupted, he was able to sneak into a new dimension. A dimension ready to hurt the trolls that hurt him, even if they're not the same trolls. Only to end up in this new group that still treats him badly. He meets the new species of trolls and realizes, hey, these guys don't have a Z, and they don't have a problem with me. How do you like that? But what about the Bergens? Why are the Partycrashers cousins of them? I'm gonna say the volcano didn't take out the entire Trolls world, just most of them. The survivors of that volcano, after years of no magic, living in a desolate wasteland, turned into the Bergens. Mic drop. Well, what about the music, Athena? I don't know. I don't know.